My beloved, stop what you're doing and listen, because what I am about to say carries the weight of eternity. You have wandered long enough in questions and quiet doubts, but now I speak plainly to your soul. I made a very serious decision about you. This is not a passing thought, not a moment of emotion. It is the heartbeat of creation itself. Everything around you, every breath within you, exists because I decided you were worth it. So still your mind, open your heart, and hear me now, for what I reveal in this message will change how you see yourself forever. Before there was light, before the oceans moved, before even the concept of time unfolded its first second, I thought of you. You were not born into existence by chance, nor were you conceived by randomness. You were chosen in the stillness of eternity when nothing yet was. I held your image within me long before I said, "Let there be light." You must understand this. You existed first in my heart, not in the world's history. I imagined your laughter, your tears, your voice calling out into the quiet of life. I knew every step your feet would take, every season your soul would walk through, and I decided that I wanted you here, in this very time. My decision about you was not an afterthought. It was the origin of creation's purpose. When I began shaping the stars, when I spoke mountains into being, I was already designing a home in time where you would live, breathe, and meet me. Every galaxy that spins above you is only a reflection of how much I desired your existence. You often wonder if your life matters, if you are seen, if you are truly known. Hear me now. Before anything else came to be, I already knew your name. It was not whispered by angels or written by men. It was spoken by me. You were not added to creation. Creation was expanded to hold you. I made a decision about you before the sun ever burned, before the first dawn kissed the horizon. You were always in my thoughts, and that thought was not fleeting. It was eternal. You were not an accident of time, but the fulfillment of intention. I wove your existence into the tapestry of divine purpose. That is why when I breathe life into the world, my breath carries your name within it. Every sunrise that greets you, every heartbeat that sustains you, is my eternal whisper saying, "You are here because I chose you." I watched generations unfold before you, yet my eyes never left the moment you would arrive. You were not forgotten in the vastness of my plans. You were the reason my plans included mercy, redemption, and love. I saw the pain you would face, the struggles that would threaten to silence you, the loneliness that would make you question your worth, and still, I said, "Yes, let this one be," because my decision was not based on perfection but on love. You are not a fragment of coincidence. You are a deliberate creation of divine will. You were conceived in eternity and placed in time with purpose. My decision about you was made long before the foundations of the world, and it was sealed by my own being. So when you feel lost or unseen, remember this. You are older than time in my heart. You are not wandering through a meaningless story. You are walking through a decision that I made long ago, a decision that I will never, ever change. You must understand this truth deep within your being. I did not choose you because I needed you. I chose you because I love you. There was nothing you could ever offer me that would increase my greatness. Yet I still desired you with a love that cannot be measured by human thought. I was already complete, already perfect, already whole, and yet, in the fullness of eternity, I longed for your companionship. I wanted you to know me, to walk with me, to share in the beauty of my heart. When I made the decision about you, it was not out of lack, but out of overflowing affection. My love was so vast, so alive, that it sought to create someone who could receive it, someone who could reflect it back in their own way. As someone was you. You did not have to earn this love. You were born into it. My decision for you was not transactional. It was transformational. Even before you spoke your first word, before you believed in me or even knew my name, I had already whispered yours. The world teaches you that love must be deserved, that it is conditional, that it is fragile and fleeting. But my love is different. It is the foundation of your existence. It was not stirred by your goodness, nor diminished by your failures. It is constant because I am constant. I did not choose you for what you could do for me. I chose you so that I could do something miraculous in you. I chose to dwell in you, to pour the fullness of my spirit into your frailty, to make your ordinary life an extraordinary expression of divine love. Every heartbeat you have ever felt is a reminder that my affection sustains you. You breathe because I decided to love you into existence, not because you earned it. When you question your worth, when shame whispers that you are unlovable, remember this: my love for you predates your pain. It does not rise and fall with your emotions. It is anchored in eternity. I did not make a practical decision about you. I made a passionate one. And because it was rooted in love, it cannot be undone. You are the outcome of divine affection, the living evidence that love himself desired to be known. That is why even when you walk away, I pursue you. When you fall, I lift you. When you hide, I call your name into the darkness until you remember who you are to me. My decision was not born out of need but out of unending love, and nothing, not failure, not fear, not death, can ever separate you from it. You have no idea how deeply I knew you before you knew yourself. Every thought that has crossed your mind, every struggle that has bruised your spirit, every weakness that you try to hide, I saw it all before time began, and still I said, I want this one. I saw your anger and your gentleness, your failures and your faith, your chaos and your longing for peace. I saw the moments when you would doubt me, curse me, ignore me, and yet my love did not waver. You were never a gamble to me. I made no mistake in choosing you. My eyes beheld the full spectrum of your humanity, and still, my heart rejoiced to call you mine. I knew you would stumble through the same lessons again and again. I knew your tears would sometimes be caused by your own decisions. And yet, in all that knowing, I never withdrew my hand. My choice for you was not a moment of impulse. It was an eternal declaration sealed with my understanding of your entire journey. When you look at yourself and see only imperfection, I see beauty clothed in process. I see the soul I designed learning to rise, learning to trust, learning to love as I love. I never expected you to be flawless. I expected you to need me. That's why my grace surrounds you like air, constant, unseen, essential. I knew there would be days you would question if I could still love you after all you've done. My answer has never changed. Yes, I still do. I knew about your wounds, your insecurities, your moments of hypocrisy, and I chose you anyway. Not because of what you would become, but because I knew what my love could make of you. Every failure I foresaw was already covered by mercy. Every sin you'd commit was already carried to the cross. Every moment you thought would separate you from me only deepened my resolve to reach for you. So do not let guilt chain you to the past or shame whisper lies about your worth. I do not love you because you are perfect. I love you because you are mine. I knew every crack in your soul, and I chose to fill them with my light. I saw your heart in its most fragile state and declared it beautiful. My knowledge of you does not repel me. It draws me closer. For it is in your brokenness that my glory shines brightest. And this truth will never change. I have seen the worst of you, and I have still chosen to call you beloved. You know how far I came just to keep my promise about you. Eternity cannot contain love that remains unexpressed, and so I stepped out of timeless glory and into your world of dust and pain. I clothed myself in the limitations of humanity so that my decision for you could become visible, tangible, undeniable. I entered time not as a distant ruler but as one who would walk among you, feel what you feel, and bear what you could not carry. I did this not because I had to, but because I wanted to. I could not bear eternity without you. My decision was not just words spoken in heaven. It was a covenant that demanded action, and I fulfilled it through my incarnation. I came to bridge the gap that sin had dug between us, to restore what was broken by your choices and healed only by my sacrifice. I felt the hunger, the thirst, the betrayal, the loneliness, all the weight of your world pressed upon my shoulders. I entered the very creation I once breathed life into so that you would know I am not distant from your pain. I entered your story to write its ending. My decision for you required that I bear your suffering so that you would not be crushed beneath it. Every step I took toward the cross was a continuation of that eternal yes I spoke before the beginning of time. I carried your guilt, your regrets, your hidden sins, all of it, so that you could walk in freedom. I fulfilled what I had decided by becoming the very bridge that connects your brokenness to my holiness. When I walked among men, it was my way of showing you that I am not only your creator, I am your companion. I am not condemned to love you from afar. My decision was so serious, so complete, that I stepped into your timeline to ensure nothing could separate you from me. I entered time to redeem every moment you thought was wasted, to sanctify every season you believed was lost. I fulfilled my promise not just for you, but with you. I entered your world so that you would never have to walk through it alone. I entered time so that you could enter eternity. That was my decision, and I would make it again without hesitation. You have looked at the cross as a symbol, but I want you to see it for what it truly was, a declaration of my final decision about you. When I hung there, suspended between heaven and earth, it was not the nails that held me, it was love's resolve. I was not powerless, I was purposeful. Every hammer strike that pierced my flesh echoed with the words, "You are worth it." You must understand, I did not suffer to prove something to the world. I suffered to reveal something to you, that nothing could change my mind about you. The cross was my throne of love, where eternity touched time to announce that your debt was canceled, your shame was lifted, your separation was over. It was not a tragedy, it was triumph. I bore your guilt, your fear, your rebellion, and your sorrow, and I buried them in my wounds so they could never rise against you again. Every drop of blood that fell upon that ground sealed the covenant I had made before the world began, that you would belong to me forever. When you see the cross, do not see defeat, see decision. It was there that I finalized what I had promised in eternity past. No sin was left unpaid, no failure left uncovered, no distance left untraveled. I carried it all so that you would never again have to live under the weight of condemnation. I spoke the words, "It is finished," and in that moment, every power that stood against you was broken. The curse that shadowed your name was shattered. The darkness that whispered unworthy was silenced by the sound of my dying breath. I gave myself fully, holding nothing back, so that you could live freely without fear. That was my declaration, that there would never again be a barrier between you and me. My love was not halfway love, it was complete, eternal, final. So when guilt tries to haunt you, when the memory of your past claws at your peace, point back to the cross. That is where your freedom was purchased. That is where my decision about you became unchangeable. My love for you did not end in death, it conquered death. And because of that, you never have to wonder again where you stand with me. The cross was not a plea for your affection, it was a revelation of mine. It was my loudest yes to your existence, spoken in blood and sealed in eternity. That moment remains unaltered, untouched by time, unshaken by failure. The cross is my everlasting declaration that you are forgiven. You are chosen, you are mine, and nothing in heaven or on earth will ever reverse that. Do you know how fiercely I fought for you? Everything that rose up to destroy you, sin, shame, fear, death, it all stood before me, claiming ownership of your soul. But I would not allow it. I faced the darkness that hunted you and stripped it of its power. I walked into death's dominion not as a victim, but as a conqueror. The grave thought it could hold me, but when it closed around me, it only sealed its own defeat. I took captivity captive. I broke the chains that once bound humanity in hopelessness. Every spiritual force that sought to crush you was disarmed that day. I did not just defeat your enemies. I humiliated them openly by rising in victory. The empty tomb is the evidence that I finished what I started, that the decision I made about you would never again be threatened by darkness. You must understand, what once enslaved you now bows beneath my feet. Sin no longer defines you, it has lost its claim. Fear no longer rules you, it has lost its voice. Death no longer owns you. It has lost its sting. Every accusation that hell formed against you was shattered when I rose. I did not fight to prove my strength. I fought because you were worth defending. I faced what you could not face and conquered what you could not conquer. I defeated what wanted to destroy you, not so you could live timidly, but so you could live triumphantly. When I look at you, I do not see a victim of life's battles. I see a reflection of my victory. My decision for you included your freedom, your authority, your ability to stand in the light without fear of the shadows. So do not live as though the chains still hold you. Do not let the past imprison what I have already liberated. Every wound you carry can be healed. Every lie you've believed can be undone, because I have overcome it all. I did not merely rescue you. I reinstated you to the life you were meant to live, one of peace, of courage, of communion with me. I broke the curse so that you could walk in blessing. I silenced the enemy so that you could hear my voice clearly. I have already defeated what sought your destruction. Now, all that remains is for you to walk in the victory I secured. You are free because I made it so, and my decision stands eternally. Before your parents ever spoke your name into the air, I whispered it into existence. Every syllable carries purpose. Every tone carries intention. When I called you by name, I wasn't just identifying you. I was claiming you. You see, names in my kingdom are not labels. They are destinies. I called you not by what the world would see, but by what I created you to become. I spoke your name before you knew how to speak mine, and that name carries my authority. When I call you, I do not shout into the void. I summon life into being. You were not chosen as part of a crowd. You were chosen individually, specifically, deliberately. My voice spoke you into reality, and every time I say your name, it echoes through eternity as a reminder that you are known, seen, and loved beyond comprehension. There are moments when you feel unseen, forgotten by people, overlooked by life. But even in those moments, I am whispering your name in the quiet, reminding you that I have not forgotten. The world may assign you names born of pain, failure, disappointment, unworthy, but I have renamed you with titles of destiny, beloved, chosen, redeemed. Every time you doubt your worth, remember, I have already spoken over you. My voice carries creative power. When I call you by name, I also call forth your potential. When I said you, I also meant purpose. My decision about you was so intimate that I carved your identity into my own heart. You are not random. You are written. You are not hidden. You are held. Even now, I am calling your name again, not with judgment, but with affection. I am calling you to rise from the ashes of your uncertainty, to remember who you are in me. When you hear me calling, it is not to expose your flaws. It is to awaken your divine design. I am calling you by name into deeper communion, into healing, into destiny. My voice is the one that restores what the world tried to erase. You are known by me, not vaguely, but personally. I know your story, your scars, your silence, and your soul. And yet, with all that I know, I still say your name with joy. So when you hear me speak it, do not shrink away. Lift your head and remember, I called you by name, and that name will never be forgotten in eternity. Look deep into your heart and know this truth. I planted seeds of eternity within you even before you noticed. These seeds weren't sown in passing. They were placed by my hand with deliberate care, pointing you toward more than this life can offer. You feel their stirring inside, those longings for truth, for beauty, for peace that surpasses circumstance. And they are not accidents or mere genetics or cultural echoes. They are my design. I placed within your spirit a yearning for home, a hunger for wholeness, a whisper of my presence, because my decision about you wasn't meant to stop at temporal. I intended you for something beyond here, and these seeds are markers of that intended path. When the noise of the world drowns out their voice, you forget that you are more than flesh and circumstance. But I remind you, you are the soil in which my eternal promise grows. You might wonder why you carry dreams that seem out of reach, desires that feel too profound for your current season. That is because my eternity touches you now, through those seeds. I didn't just create you to make ends meet. I created you to awaken possibilities that cannot be contained by yesterday's failures or today's limitations. When you wake and feel empty, when you work and feel unsatisfied, when you rest and still ache with hope, it is because I placed those eternal seed stirrings in you so you would never settle for less than the calling I had in mind. You were not made for the predictable, safe, surface life. You were made to partner with me in the unfolding of my kingdom within you and around you. Every whisper of longing in your soul is a reminder of my decision about you and my promise to you, that your story will stretch beyond the horizon of what you currently see. Don't bury those seeds in busyness or dismiss them in the chaos of living. Instead, water them with faith, guard them with hope, and let them grow in the soil of your quietness with me. I am here cultivating my vision in your heart, and though the world may ridicule or misunderstand the stirrings you carry, I understand them perfectly because I planted them. The trials you face are not weeds that should snuff out those seeds. They are part of the growth process, shaping your root system deep in me. Your cracks, your scars, your not enough moments, they are all part of the ground in which the eternal in you will bloom. I am patient in my cultivation because I value the harvest more than the hurry. I made a serious decision about you, and part of that decision is to release you into eternity through the seeds I planted in you. So when you feel overlooked, when your efforts seem futile, when restlessness steals your joy, remember, these seeds are proof that I am still at work and that your journey is far from experienced or concluded. I see them. I honor them. I whisper to them. I breathe life into them. And I will bring to completion the good work I started within you. You are an eternal project of my love and intention, alive with the seeds of my purpose, and I will help you to grow until every part of you reflects the fullness of my design. Feel the weight that has pressed on you, the nights when you cried softly into your pillow, the times you screamed inwardly when no one heard, the moments you carried shame alone, and know this, I have been there. I have entered your silent battlefields with you. I stood in the shadows where you felt unheard and unseen. I felt the trembling of your soul when hope slipped through your fingers. Nothing in your hidden struggle was unknown to me. I did not wait for you to fix your armor, pull your sword, or find your words. I came into the arena of your quiet despair because my decision about you means I would not abandon you. I will never leave you to fight alone. Your pain is not invisible to me. It is precious. Your loneliness is not irrelevant. It calls out to me, and I respond. You might ask, why did you let me walk through this? And I answer you honestly. I did not avoid your battles. I joined them. I did not wait behind the scenes. I entered your story so you would know my presence is not theoretical. When you thought I had turned away, I leaned in. When you thought I faced a different enemy, I was there fighting your fight. Those nights you wondered if you had reached the end of your strength, I used your surrender to show my strength. Every tear you shed, every fear that whispered you were alone, I held those in my hands and nursed them with compassion. I know the battlefield of your mind, the trenches of your heart, the skirmishes of your emotions, and I have been with you in each one. And yet, because I was with you in trembling, I am also at work in your arising. The scars you carry are not merely reminders of what you endured. They are testimonies to my faithfulness in the fight. I did not leave you wounded and forgotten. I committed my presence to your recovery. You are stronger because I have walked through the fire with you. The memories of your battles will become the foundation of your triumphs. The times you felt small will become chapters of great power in your story. I am rewriting your narrative from victim to victor, from alone to accompanied, from wounded to war-tested and victorious. I made a decision about you, and that decision includes your vindication. So when the memory of those silent battles creeps in and tries to shame you, smile, because it reminds you of my unshakable presence. When you walk into dark valleys and your heart recoils, know I am already there, torch in hand, lighting your steps. When anxiety whispers you are on your own, I whisper back, I have been here. You are never forsaken, never invisible, never insignificant. I have been with you, and because I have been with you, you will rise from this battle into the purpose I decided for you. Hear this clearly now, the pages you wish you could rip out, the chapters you try to erase, the storylines you hide from others. I am rewriting them. I am taking the ink of your mistakes, your sorrows, your if-onlys, and I am turning them into something beautiful. Your regret does not confine you. It invites me in. Because I made a decision about you, I will not allow your past to have the final word. I am intervening, turning your broken sentences into themes of redemption, your failures into lessons of grace, your losses into hallmarks of my creativity. When you flip through the memory of what you should have done, I am already drawing new lines over it, rewriting the narrative to reflect my love, my power, my purpose in you. You feel the weight of history pressing on you. The wrong choices, the missed chances, the moments you wish you hadn't defined you. And you might wonder if I will still use you after those chapters. My answer is yes, and not reluctantly. I delight in reclaiming what was lost. I did not withdraw my decision because nothing holds the record of my love. I see your past, but I don't limit you by it. I meet you at the point of your regret and say, "Come, let me rewrite this for you." I do not pretend your pain didn't happen, but I refuse to let it remain the headline. I am writing your story because my decision for you includes renewal. I am not turning a blind eye to your history. I am turning your history into my history of grace. So don't hide from your regrets. Don't allow them to remain tombstones when they are meant to become stepping stones. Invite me into the pages you sealed. Watch as I transform what looked like failure into your foundation for freedom. Each tear you cried, each regret you carried, I collect them in my heart and use them to build your legacy. Your past is not the destroyer of your future. It is the witness of my work in you. Because I made a serious decision about you, I will bring you into a story where my glory is made visible through your scars being healed, your mistakes being reshaped, your life being released into the destiny I planned. You keep staring at the walls in front of you, wondering why they don't move, wondering why nothing opens when you knock. But listen, while you see walls, I am preparing doors. Not the kind you can craft with your own hands, not the kind you can force or fake with ambition, but doors built in the silence of my timing. I see every longing you have, every question that stirs in the dark when prayers seem to echo back unanswered. And while you feel confined, I am working in the unseen, shaping opportunities that fit you better than what you've been chasing. You think delay means denial, but delay is the womb where I form destiny. You are so close to things that would destroy you if I gave them too soon, so I withhold, not to punish you, but to protect you. The doors I prepare for you are not ordinary entries. They are thresholds to new levels of identity, purpose, and intimacy with me. I know how waiting exhausts you. I've seen the tears when hope feels thin, the frustration when nothing seems to move forward. But I am never still when you think I am silent. In your unseen seasons, I am working beneath the soil of your circumstances, aligning hearts, timing, and provision. The reason you cannot yet see the door is because I am building it into the shape of your obedience. When the moment comes, and the structure of your faith aligns with my will, the path will open effortlessly, not by force, but by favor. You won't need to beg or fight to enter it, because it will recognize you. It was designed for you. I will make it clear that no man opened it and no man can shut it. And when you walk through, you'll see how every closed door before this one was not rejection, but redirection. So do not despise the unseen. Do not give up because your eyes cannot yet trace my hand. Trust me in the waiting because this waiting is sacred. I am preparing not just a door but a destiny that will not collapse under your feet. You think I'm late, but I'm aligning eternity's timing with your readiness. Soon, what was invisible will appear, and you will understand why I had to take you the long way. And when that moment comes, you will look back and realize every not yet was my mercy, every pause was my protection, and every delay was the hand of love preparing the perfect door for you to walk through. You often wonder if you've missed too much, failed too deeply, strayed too far for me to continue what I began. But hear me. I will finish what I started in you. I am not the kind of creator who abandons his masterpiece halfway. I am not frustrated with your progress, nor surprised by your process. I knew every detour you'd take, every fall you'd experience, and I factored them into my design long before you lived them. My decision about you was never fragile. It was fortified by grace. You may see yourself as unfinished, messy, incomplete, but I see the end from the beginning. I see the version of you already radiant with my glory, already walking in purpose, already whole. I do not see the mistakes that frighten you. I see the journey that is shaping you into the reflection of my heart. You think you've ruined too much for me to repair, but child, I specialize in rebuilding what the world calls ruin. Every rough edge in your story is becoming part of my greater art. I will not leave a single line of your life unredeemed. What I began in your heart, the stirring of love, the awakening of faith, the hunger for purpose, was not temporary emotion. It was my spirit planting eternal work, and I will not stop until it blooms into fullness. I do not give up halfway, nor do I leave what I love undone. You may feel weary, even resistant, but my persistence outlasts your weakness. I am patient with you, not because I have no choice, but because I take joy in watching you become what I always saw you could be. So when you feel unfinished, when you see only flaws and fragments, lift your eyes. The potter never discards the clay he formed. I am still shaping you, and what feels like breaking is simply refining. The pressure you feel is not punishment. It's my hands molding you with care. One day, you will look back and see that the cracks you despised were where my light entered first. You are not running out of time. You are walking through my process. I began something holy in you, and I will finish it with beauty and precision. You may doubt yourself, but I have never doubted what I can do in you. Trust me. The work I started in you will not end in fragments. It will end in glory. Every time you breathe, you are declaring that my love endures. You are living evidence that grace wins. I could have spoken of my love only in words, but I chose to demonstrate it through you. You, with your imperfections and your victories, your wounds and your healing, are my living letter to a world desperate for hope. When others see you forgiven, transformed, restored, they see me. I made a serious decision about you, not just to save you but to send you, to make you the visible reflection of an invisible love. Every time you forgive when it's hard, love when it's costly, believe when it's impossible, you reveal my nature. You are not an ordinary testimony. You are a walking manifestation of redemption's power. Do not shrink back from this truth. You think you are too small, too flawed, too inconsistent to represent me, but that is exactly why you can. My glory does not need perfection. It needs surrender. When people look at your life and see that you have endured storms that should have broken you, they will know it was not strength that sustained you. It was love. I am writing my story of mercy through you, one chapter at a time. You are proof that I reach into ashes and create beauty, that I take broken vessels and pour light through their cracks. You do not have to try to impress the world with perfection. Just let my love shine through your scars. When you stand, when you smile again, when you give grace to others, you are testifying that I am real. You are the sermon the world is reading, the miracle they can touch. So walk with courage, because every step you take in faith becomes evidence of who I am. You are my hands extended, my compassion embodied, my heart revealed in motion. You are proof that love still redeems, that mercy still restores, that grace still transforms. I chose you for this, to carry my love into the lives that have forgotten what hope feels like. And as long as you breathe, I will keep using you to show the world what divine love looks like when it wears a human heart. You are my chosen vessel, the reflection of my decision, and the living proof that I meant every word when I said, I made a very serious decision about you. Amen.